What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about a dating mistake I see women make all the time. A lot of women I talk to, whether they be in my coaching calls, in conversations, in DMs, in the comment section, are always asking me about if they should tell a man how they feel one last time and get it all out before they leave him alone forever. A lot of women are framing this closure conversation as this thing that will release them and allow them to move on with their lives and in good conscience start dating other men. When a lot of times it's some BS. A lot of times women have convinced themselves that they're doing this for these more noble reasons of releasing the pressure and allowing themselves to be vindicated by defending themselves and standing up for themselves, when in actuality what they're hoping for is a one last ditch effort and chance to get this man to say the things that they've been wanting him to say and hear the things that they've been wanting to hear from him, by dumping their emotions and hoping by through an emotional Hail Mary, this guy catches the pass and tells them all the sweet things that they wanted to hear from him, shows all the grief, shows all the guilt, and takes all the responsibility and gives all the validation that he's denied them for the duration of the time that they were being shed on in a relationship. Listen, ladies, closure is a figment of your imagination. You always regret that which didn't work out. Eventually, with time and moving on, you just get around shit. You get over it. It stops hurting so bad. But trying to have this last magical conversation doesn't do you any justice, because you're only hoping to get a particular response from him that gives you permission to stay. Most of the time, women are hoping for this magical response or this special response that they get from a man emotionally. A man not done with beating you down and abusing you emotionally will give you that validation in your closure conversation, because he knows it only keeps you connected to him further. He knows that it maintains the access that he has to you emotionally and sexually most of the time. All he has to do is say sorry, he regrets things, he apologizes, he wish he could change, what he did. He can't change it, but he wants you to know he always loves you and you were special to him. You hang up the phone thinking, I stood up for myself, and then 2 weeks later you're in his bed getting pounded again. Why? Because you had to have a closure conversation. You really didn't want closure. You were trying to stick your foot in the door to keep it open. We got to be honest with ourselves about what we're doing when we're doing it with people, what we're saying when we're saying it to people. Most of you don't want closure. You're throwing a Hail Mary pass, hoping that he catches it in the darkness and shows you some regret, some remorse, some guilt for how he's treated you so that you can stay. I can't tell you how many times I talk to a client, talk for an hour. She describes Satan to me on the phone as her boyfriend or as her ex. Then she books another call, and the first thing she says is, well, we talked, we're okay now. The issues that you had couldn't be talked out. Talking doesn't erase what he's doing. Your beliefs, your values aren't what you say, they're what you do. Just because a person agrees with you in a conversation doesn't mean it changes their values, what they do, and what they'll continue to do to you. Countless times, hundreds of times, I've talked a woman into finally releasing herself from a guy that was actively, maliciously, and intentionally abusing her. And in our next call, the first thing she says is, well, we talked, we're okay now. Women I've known in my personal life, family members, most women are looking for some kind of last ditch call. That's where they're like, I need to tell him how I feel. And all the guy has to do is bullshit that moment and he's back. It's the easiest play in the game. Stop trying to have closure conversations. There's no closure. There's just regret. Feel the loss, take that L, and move on. Stop trying to convince yourself that you're standing up for yourself and that's why you're stuck to a man, because you haven't had the last conversation yet. And a lot of y'all have had this closure conversation 5 and 6 and 7 times. I've had clients, I've had family members, I've had friends who've had the same conversation with me 10 different times about the same guy, preparing for the closure conversation that they've had and had and had and had. Every 3 months, they need another closure conversation. You've closed this shit out 7 times. Has anything changed? When a woman's fed up, there's nothing a man can do to keep her. The biggest signal that a woman is not fed up is her need for a closure conversation. Men know this. They're waiting on that call. They're waiting to tell you they're sorry and they'll change and they won't do it again. They're waiting for you to posture as if you're going to walk away from them so that they can say the sweet nothings that you were denied their whole relationship, the validation that you were denied their whole relationship, the consideration that you were denied, the regret, the guilt, the remorse for their actions that you were denied their whole relationship. They take fake responsibility. They extend fake olive branches. They show fake patience and fake understanding. And you're right back with them. 2 or 3 weeks later, you're in the same situation, trying to figure out how you got here. You got here through that stupid ass closure conversation. Usually when I meet women who are being abused and it's a malicious, intentional abuse, I give them an unreasonable request. I tell them that what's best for them is that they never speak to that person again in their lives. And I understand that it's unreasonable and I understand that it's unlikely, but it's the thing that would actually be best for them. Because this person is applying abusive pressure to them on purpose. This person intends to do damage and is successfully controlling them through this manipulation. This person is operating from a very wicked and dark nature, and it can't be changed in any closure conversation. The person, the spirit, the soul, the humanity in this person is so dark that no conversation or fake understanding can change what this woman is receiving from this person. So my unreasonable request is never speak to this person again. Not one more day in your life. They don't exist. They are dead. Bury them. Never look back. Never respond to a text, a call, a message, a DM, an email, and never send one. You have your clarity. They ain't shit. That's your clarity. That's your closure. Move on. I made this request hundreds, if not thousands of times. 9 out of 10 times, women don't follow this request. They keep having these last conversations with their abusers. And then they have to book more calls or reach out to more family members or endure more abuse and more toxicity and give away more years and more months to this man. 5 or 6 or 7 times they've come to an understanding with these men. He's finally going to stop shitting on him. He's finally going to stop cheating. He's finally going to stop abusing. He's finally going to stop using. He's finally going to stop critiquing and criticizing and putting them down and humiliating them. They never get what they're asking for, but they keep showing up for that damn closure conversation. Closure is your mindset. It is not a conversation. Move on from men who are doing you shitty. The greatest gift you can give yourself is protection and self-preservation. And some of you need to focus more on self-preservation than closure. Anyway, this message is for who it's for. Do what you will with this information. That's all I got for now. Follow me at Kivik24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.